Trigger warning. This episode contains graphic details about minors, so if you want to avoid certain parts, please check the show notes. Hey everyone, I am Rashad K, and this is They Forgot About Us, a true crime podcast that tells the stories of murdered and missing African American women, men, and children. On this episode of They Forgot About Us, I tell the story of Banita Jacks, a Washington, D.C. resident who was convicted of murdering her 4 daughters in 2009. Banita Jacks was born in 1974 in Charles County, Maryland, to Mammy Jacks. Banita struggled in school and couldn't learn as quickly as the other kids. Banita told police she had dropped out of school in the 6th grade, but her mother says she dropped out in the 10th grade when she was 17 years old and became pregnant with her first child, Brittany Marie Jacks. Brittany Marie Jacks was born on January 5th, 1991, and 2 months after Brittany was born, Banita dropped out of high school. Becoming a new mom was challenging because Banita needed to learn who Brittany's father was. So she filed a petition against this man in 1995 saying he was Brittany's father. And that petition went unsettled for a few years. In 1996, Banita had her second baby, Tatianna Jacks. Tatianna was born on October 9th, 1996, and in 1997, she filed a petition against a man named Kevin J. Stoddard from College Park, Maryland. The paternity test turns out he is the father of Tatianna, and he is ordered to pay $342 in child support. He told the judge that he was financially prepared to pay for the child support, but never made any payments. And at the same time, Banita is still trying to find Brittany's father. She was told by the court to submit Brittany's DNA samples, but she never did. So Brittany was arrested and put in jail for 2 days. The DNA test proved that the man she claimed was Brittany's father was not Brittany's father. Banita, who doesn't have a high school education and needs money, decides to go to cosmetology school. And in 2000, Banita enrolled in Erin Academy of Beauty in Wardolph, Maryland. She was starting to get some clientele. The program director said she was doing really well with hair and makeup, so she looked forward to getting her license. And in 2001, she finally found out who Brittany Jacks' father was. She was able to file another court hearing, and at this time, Brittany is now 10 years old. Norman C. Penn Jr. is the accused of being Brittany's father, and the DNA test proves that he is the father of 10-year-old Brittany Jacks, and he was ordered to pay $388 a month in child support. He also never started making the child support payments. So in the year 2000, Banita met Nathaniel Fogel while she was working as a hairdresser. Nathaniel Fogel Jr. was born on March 16, 1969, to his mother Jessie and Nathaniel Fogel Sr. Nathaniel Fogel Jr., who liked how Banita did his braids, they started dating and they eventually moved in together. And their daughter, Nakaya, was born in 2002, and Asia was born in 2003. Banita's little girls were bright, beautiful, and healthy. Their hair was always done up in braids, and they each had the same big smile. Banita brought both newborns to the school to show them off. Just like a mom, Lynch said. She loved those kids. Banita took a break between pregnancies, but obtained her cosmetology license in 2005. Banita and Nathaniel enrolled the four girls in the Meridian Public Charter School. The girls were doing well at school, learning different subjects and languages, and everything with Banita and Nathaniel and the girls were going well. Neighbors and family members described Banita as a caring and attentive mother. There were no signs of trauma or abuse. That was until the couple started having financial issues. Also, the couple began using illegal drugs. Jacks and Fogel often allowed their daughters, Asia and Nakaya, aged 3 and 4 years old at the time, to smoke marijuana while their parents laughed at them. And in 2005, the couple lost their home. So Banita asked her mother if they could stay with her. Mammy Jacks allowed Banita and her 4 daughters to stay briefly, but moved out because her mother would not allow Nathaniel to stay. So Banita and Nathaniel had to figure out the living situation. On December 6, 2005, Banita applied for housing assistance. She listed Nathaniel as her spouse and 4 female children. On December 14, 2005, the family stayed at DC General Hypothermia Shelter. Banita applied for TANF, Medicaid, and food stamps on December 21st, 2005. Banita enrolled Brittany Jacks at Eastern High School on January 13, 2006. And on January 18, 2006, Banita enrolled Tatianna Jacks at the Watkins Elementary School. No school records were shown for Nakaya and Asia being enrolled in school. On April 9, 2006, the family left the shelter to live with family and friends. Banita had a behavioral health Medicaid visit on June 16, 2006, and there was no information on the records about that visit. On July 12, 2006, CFSA received a report from a nurse at the family's Medicaid plan that Nathaniel checked himself out of George Washington Hospital, where he was receiving treatment for leukemia. The nurse said both parents have a substance abuse issue and the family is reportedly living in a van. The nurse could not provide an address, and CFSA could not follow up on the inquiry. The following month, on August 30th, 2006, Brittany Jacks was enrolled at Booker T. Washington Public Charter School. A nonprofit organization helped them move into their Washington, D.C. row house in August of 2006. On September 5th, 2006, Asia Fogel and Tatianna Jacks were enrolled at Meridian Public Charter School. Finally, Nakaya had a well child Medicaid visit on September 20th, 2006. And on October 5th, 2006, Nakaya was enrolled at Meridian Public Charter School. On November 30th, 2006, the family food stamp benefits were cut off due to the failure to provide the requested information. Failure to recertify for food stamps results in an automatic systems termination every 6 months. And on December 7, 2006, the Medicaid health plan spoke to Banita on the phone to encourage her to come in for care. On January 14, 2007, Banita was arrested by MPD for driving an unregistered vehicle, improper use of tags, and failure to exhibit a permit. Nathaniel died in a hospice on February 19, 2007. Banita became very isolated. She did not attend Nathaniel's funeral, and she did not tell her daughters that he had died. Nathaniel's mother had came by the Jacks' home several times to see her grandchildren, but Banita would not let her in or would call and tell her not to return. Neighbors started noticing Banita was not caring for herself or her daughters. The girls are beginning to look dirty and malnourished, and March 3rd, 2007 was the last day anyone saw Brittany at Booker T. Washington Public Charter School. So one night, Nathaniel appeared to Banita in a dream and told her that all 4 girls had demons in them. He told Banita that she needed to starve the demons out and they would be together again. He told her she was Mary and he was Jesus Christ and they would be resurrected. Yes, Banita believed in this dream because she was lost without Nathaniel. However, the relationship between Banita and her oldest daughter, Brittany, was very toxic at this time. Banita and Brittany argued and fought all the time. Brittany is always running away from home. Banita is telling Brittany, you have demons inside of you, especially the Jezebel demon, because Brittany at this point has a boyfriend. Brittany, who was 16 then, went to school on March 3rd, 2007 and never returned. That was also the last time she saw her boyfriend, Leopold Kelly. He had contacted her, but she stopped responding to his messages. On March 21st, 2007, Tatianna, Nakaya, and Asia were unenrolled from Meridian Public Charter School. The school asked Banita what new school the girls would attend, and she replied they would be homeschooled. But the truth was Banita had Brittany locked in a room without food or water, keeping her away from her sisters. Brittany is unable to bathe or use the bathroom. As time went on, Brittany was never officially unenrolled from school. She missed 33 days of school, and nobody had heard from or seen her. So her social worker, Kathleen Lopez, made repeated attempts to verify Brittany's safety. At the time, Lopez was an employee of Booker T. Washington Charter School, which Brittany attended. And on April 27, 2007, Lopez visited Jack's home with a police officer and another school employee. But Banita refused to allow them inside the home. And on April 28, 2007, a CFSA social worker visited the home to complete an initial assessment, but no one answered the door. So the social worker left written information requesting Banita to contact them. Lopez revisited the home on April the 30th, 2007, and Banita spoke with her but would not let her in. So she called MPD to come to the house and alert the CFSA social worker and report that the mother appeared to have mental health issues and was possibly holding Brittany hostage by refusing to allow her to attend school. Sergeant James LaFranchise visited the Jacks' home and interviewed Banita in her front yard. In the initial report, LaFranchise said he had only seen the 3 younger girls on his visit. The girls appeared clean and well-fed, healthy, and playful. When Sergeant LaFranchise asked why the children was not in school, Banita told him that the children were being homeschooled. The officer informed her of the proper procedure for homeschooling in the District of Columbia. The officer reported that he observed books that Banita had for the children. Banita told him that without a warrant, he could not enter. So LaFranchise left the property And when he got back to the police station, he did not file a report of the visit. On May 2nd, 2007, the social worker confirmed with Penn Attendance Intervention Center that the children was not currently enrolled in DCPS. And on May 5th, 2007, a CFSA social worker contacted DCPS to inquire about the homeschooling policy. He was informed that DC has no law governing homeschooling. He stated that all a parent had to do was to request a form from their school. DCPS will then authorize the parent to proceed with homeschooling. On May 10th, Lopez wrote a letter to the Youth Social Service Division of the DC Superior Court, expressing her fear that Brittany Jacks was being held hostage. Social workers did not investigate her concerns. And in May of 2007, Banita moved all the furniture from her house into the backyard and started losing weight. Banita told another neighbor, who she often asked for water and cigarettes, that she had cancer. During the summer, Banita's former neighbors smelled a foul odor in the area, which some guessed was a dead rat. On May 11, 2007, the CFSA social worker completed a referral to the Diligent Search Office to locate the Jacks family. On May 16, 2007, the CFSA Diligent Search Office reported an address used by Banita Jacks of an individual they believed to be a relative in Wardoff, Maryland. The last person to see any of the children alive was a neighbor and family friend, Tatianna Richardson, who would deliver Social Security checks to Banita twice a month. Richardson said she saw the two youngest girls in the family's living room in June of 2007, and Richardson had not seen Brittany Jacks for several months. On June 13, 2007, Brittany was unenrolled from Booker T. Washington PCS. On June 14, 2007, CFSA received a letter from the Charles County Child Welfare Office in an attempt to locate the family, but was unable to locate them. So everyone thought the family had moved away and did not tell anyone. But the whole time, Banita is in the house with the girls and still believes that each one of them has a demon in them. By August 25th, DC Water and Sewer Authority disconnected service from the Jacks house. Washington Gas also disconnected service. And on January 9, 2008, U.S. Marshals came to Banita's home to serve her with an eviction. Banita had stopped paying the rent and the utilities. The Marshals knocked several times before she answered the door. And when she finally answered, wearing only a white t-shirt with brown smudge marks, which was dried up blood, she asked to see proof of the eviction and tried to block the officers from climbing up the stairs to the second floor bedrooms where the girls' bodies were. The Marshals forced their way past the door and could smell an odor of rotten meat. And in an upstairs bedroom, they found the bodies of the three younger girls lined up according to age, each wearing a white t-shirt. The body of Brittany Jacks was in another upstairs bedroom, nude and lying on the floor in a pool of blood underneath a white t-shirt. Asia Fogel, 5, Nakia Fogel, 6, Tatianna Jacks, 11, were strangled, although medical examiners could not definitely say strangulation was the cause of death because the bodies were so decomposed. Medical examiners ruled that Brittany Jacks, 16, died first about May or June 2007. Brittany's skeleton body was found in a bedroom covered with a white t-shirt. Next to her body was a knife. Also, there were no fingerprints or DNA traces on the knife. The local news in the area breaks the story of a mother charged with the deaths of her 4 children. So Sergeant LaFranchise decides to file the report 9 months later on the day that she was arrested. The D.C. Police Department said they would conduct an internal investigation of LaFranchise and the inconsistent reports. So Banita is brought in for an interview that lasts 8 hours. During the interviews, Banita spoke of her children as having demons and referred to herself as Mary and to her dead boyfriend Nathaniel as Jesus Christ. Asia died in her sleep first, Banita told police, while her 2 sisters lived with the body in their bedroom. One of the sisters, Banita said, thought Asia's death was funny. They didn't care, as she was quoted saying. Nakia died the next night, and then Tatianna, who had green stuff pouring out of her mouth and nose, Banita told the police. The weaker the girls got, the weaker the demons got, she said on the tape. Banita said Brittany was inside another bedroom, pounding on the walls the entire time. Brittany was quoted saying, "I know what's going on in there and what you're doing. I'm going to get you." Banita quoted Brittany as saying, one morning she said she found Brittany lying on her back on hardwood floor with her mouth open. Banita said she saw her from the doorway but didn't enter the room. Eventually, Banita put all the furniture outside for trash pickup because the demons had infiltrated everything in the house. Spirits and demons have a different smell, so little by little I had to get rid of everything, she said. When detectives Daryl Richmond and Mitchell Cradle asked Jacks how Brittany died, she said she would rather talk to her attorney. And at one point, the detectives became irritated that Banita would not reveal how the girls were killed. They also kept asking why she didn't seek help. You were getting used to their dead bodies now. They were like furniture. You let them turn into skeletons, Richmond said. Prosecutors said Brittany had a puncture wound on her abdomen. A knife was found near her body. Asia was strangled and beaten, according to prosecutors. The other children had been strangled. Banita told police the deaths occurred before a utility turned off her electricity, which prosecutors said was in September. She told investigators she had not fed her children for a long time before their deaths. Medical examiner Dr. Marie Lydie Pierre-Louise said the bodies were in the apartment for more than 15 days based on the insects that were found there. As she did Monday, Jacks requested that she not be in the courtroom while the tapes were played. She remained in a cell in Superior Court. The mayor said officials were working to determine city agencies' other contacts with the family. The mayor is quoted as saying, "We are going to investigate every single contact that this family has had with the government, with people who are paid to look out for the welfare of children. And we will come back with a full report," Fenty said. City officials were scrambling to understand how 4 children could have been dead for at least 2 weeks without anyone knowing. Richardson, a spokeswoman for the D.C. Public Charter School Board, said Banita's 3 younger daughters attended the Meridian Public Charter School in Washington consistently until March. Richardson said that when they stopped showing up, the school immediately tried to contact the mother by mail and telephone. Officials finally went to the woman's home and were told that she wanted to withdraw the children and homeschool them. They were officially withdrawn in mid-March. The D.C. Child and Family Services Agency tried last year to investigate a complaint about the family. However, investigators could not make face-to-face contact with family members and believed they had moved to Maryland, agency spokeswoman Mindy Good said. Norris West, a spokesman for the Maryland Department of Human Resources, said that in June, D.C. officials asked social services officials in Charles County, Maryland, to open a case for the family. However, county officials could not locate the family, and whether they had moved to Charles County is unclear. However, when detectives asked Banita why she didn't just call the police, she said she didn't want to get in trouble and didn't trust the police. Banita was arrested and charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. She was held without bond. Banita was arrested on 12 charges, which were premeditated first-degree murder, felony murder, and cruelty to children. Because of the age of the girls, she faces life in prison without parole. She pleaded not guilty and rejected the insanity defense. Judge Frederick H. Weisberg will decide the case because Banita agreed to waive her right to a jury trial. After 2 days of reviewing the evidence, Judge Frederick H. Weisberg found Banita guilty of 11 of 12 counts of murder and child cruelty because, combined with the other facts present, she lived in her Southeast Washington row house with her dying children for almost 8 months but never called for help. Whether it was out of desperation or hopelessness to take them out of their misery or some other reason known only to Banita Jacks, she intended to kill them, Weisberg said. Her acts were intentional and reckless and caused each child grave injury and ultimate death. Weisberg noted that the Jacks' home life seemed to spiral downward after her live-in boyfriend of 7 years, Nathaniel Fogel Jr., died of cancer in February 2007. His death, Weisberg said, caused Jacks to become extremely depressed. By mid-2007, Weisberg said caring for the 4 girls was a huge burden on an increasingly stressed out mother. Assistant U.S. Attorney Michelle Jackson said she was pleased with the verdict. Her co-counsel, Assistant U.S. Attorney Deborah Sines, called it an unfortunate case in which they could not bring these lives back. Peter, one of Banita's attorneys, said he plans to appeal, but her attorney also planned to submit psychiatric records in an attempt to show that she was insane and have it factor into her sentencing, including possibly having her committed to a mental facility. That decision is up to Weisberg. On December 18, 2009, Banita Jacks was sentenced to 30 years for each murder, giving a total of 120 years behind bars. Banita is sent to a mental health facility in St. Elizabeth. She refused a mental health evaluation and refused to speak to doctors. Banita's mom, Mammy Jacks, sued the city for $10 million. The city settled for the amount of $2.6 million for the deaths of Brittany, Tatianna, Nakaya, and Asia. Under the settlement, the Attorney General's office said that $1,012,500 will go to the estate of Asia and Nakaya Fogel. However, $375,000 will go to Banita Jacks' estate, and also $200,000 will go to Brittany Jacks' estate. Officials say $260,000 must be donated to the Safe Shores, a charity devoted to abused and neglected children. Brittany's dad, Norman C. Penn Jr., also filed a lawsuit against the District of Columbia for $25 million following the death of his daughter. He said the city's agencies failed to properly handle the complaints that his daughter's life was in danger, and that because of this negligence, his daughter endured physical, mental, and emotional injuries before her death. He accused the district of failing to properly train, supervise, control, direct, and monitor its employees in their duties and responsibilities, and wants to know why the D.C. government did not do more to ensure the girls lived in a safe environment. Banita Jacks, who is 49, is now at FCI Aliceville in Aliceville, Alabama, and her earliest possible release date is September 8th, 2110. May Brittany Jacks, Tatianna Jacks, Nakaya Fogel, and Asia Fogel rest in peace. Thank you for listening. Follow us on Instagram at They Forgot About Us Podcast. Please email us at theyforgotaboutus@gmail.com. Leave us a comment and give us a rating.